paper, but maybe you would like to write a story about your own life, the laughs, the lessons, maybe even a bit of payback if you were to write a book. Many people dream of writing a book. I wonder what you would name your book if you wrote one. Communications trainer Wendy Demonari is with me to tell you why you might want to think about writing and telling your own story in your own words. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, Susan. How are you?
Good, thank you very much. So what sort of things would you write about in a story of your life?
Well, I've done a few crazy things in my time. I jumped out of a plane 98 times.
Yes, wow, 98?
Yeah, perfectly good one as well. I spent 11 years living in France. I've staged cabaret shows. So, yeah, I've done a few crazy things, but all good.
And starting a business?
Starting a business at my age. I've started a couple of businesses. So when a lot of people are settling comfortably into retirement, I don't seem to be. So, yeah, still doing crazy things.
Why do you think it's important to tell your story?
I think it gives you a sense of personal empowerment, doesn't it? It is your story. It's your chance for you to get out there how you feel, what you think, your views, to talk about things that have happened in your life. So I think it's an empowering experience more than anything.
Yeah. I guess it can also help other people if they might have been through similar circumstances as well.
Absolutely. Have you ever been inspired by someone's story? If it's been a bit similar even to your own, there are things in it that touch you and you think, if that person can face adversity and challenge and get through it, then I can too. So it can be kind of quite motivational and inspirational.
Yeah, and you can feel less alone, I guess, sometimes
True.
when you're in if you're having a tough time. So what are some of the ways you get started, do you think, to getting your story out there?
Well, I think that's the thing. You've just got to get started. And, writers have this block all the time. They're staring at a blank page. But you've just got to start putting words, any kind of words down. I think perhaps look at a timeline if you want to do that, or take maybe some experience that you've had, like for me, skydiving. And you can start with that and think, well, what did I learn from that experience? What message can I pass on to other people? So that might be the first place that you start. Yeah.
What you want people to take away from them.
Exactly. Yeah, you want some sort of key takeaways, some key messages.
So I guess, figuring out your purpose,
Yeah.
making a bit of an outline, what next do you think?
Well, I think you need to establish a bit of a writing routine if you can, because if you think, I'll just do this now and then I'll pick it up when I feel like it. Most professional writers have a routine where they sit down, even if they are feeling very uninspired, they do sit down and say, right, I am going to write 500 words a day, or I'm going to write 1,000 words a day. And it might be rubbish, but they can always go back to it, but they get into that routine and that habit. And then I think it sort of stirs the creative juices a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. What else do you think you need to think of? Maybe who's going to read it?
Who is going to read it as well? That could be important in terms of what your key message, your key takeaways are. Thinking a little bit about who you want to reach with your story. So tailor your writing, your style of writing, your language to resonate with perhaps your intended audience as well.
And one final tip, Wendy. Do you have one final tip for me?
I do have a final tip. With anything, just edit and revise. Have a bit of a look over it. The first one, it won't be perfect. You might write a story and then you might want to go back to it. So editing is a crucial part of the writing process. Seek some feedback from other people, but don't try to make it perfect. Don't wait until you've got it perfectly. Just get in there and start putting anything down for the moment.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes even just the process of writing can be a bit cathartic as well.
Absolutely.
So just get it down and then
Yeah.
figure it out. That's how life goes, I think.
So.
Wendy Demonari from Work Ready Queensland NQ, thank you very much for sharing this morning, and we look forward to hearing your book, Wendy.